Hey y'all, welcome back to By Devin Nails. Today I'm getting ready for spooky season with this fun one color dip mani with some really cute stamping on top to show off my fun side. So I started with KMG Fantasy. It is a thermal with these fun rainbow flakies in it, and I'm just going to do 2 coats of this and then do a clear on top. Then I'm going to go straight into the stamping in this video. So I pulled out my Maniology M057 plate. It is super fun, nerdy, quirky books. It has all these really fun images on it, but I am going to use this bookcase. So I started with this kind of light white with like kind of a purple undertone. I think it's called Yummy Gummy. So I stamped the bookcase on the whole of my ring finger as kind of a backdrop to the images I wanted to put on next. So I didn't want it to be too stark, and that's why I started with Yummy Gummy, thinking it would be just kind of a nice background. But once I got it stamped, I realized it just wasn't contrasted enough against that fantasy. So I decided to go in just right on top of it. I didn't take off the Yummy Gummy. I just stamped the black right on top, which actually kind of gave it a little bit more dimension. So I was pretty happy with how that looked. You can see it here. You've got the books, you've got a tiny bit of that bookcase on top. And then I went in with Clear Jelly Stamper Halloween 21. It has another plate with just so many fun images. I've used it several times this spooky season. It has these little candies on it, this fun Halloween scene at the bottom, some zombies. But today I'm going to use these cute little ghosts that they have. And I'm going to stamp these ghosts in this kind of pastel pink to go along with the kind of quirky, spooky image that I'm doing here. And this pink is a Clear Jelly Stamper pink. And I really loved how it is just translucent enough that you can see the books through the pink. Had I not wanted to see the books, I could have very easily stamped a second one on top or even have started with white. But I love it because they're supposed to be ghosts, and ghosts you can see through. So I thought it was perfect for this. So I'm going to do the outline here. I tried to stamp it once and it didn't work out, so I erased. Well, I didn't erase. I took it off my stamper, cleaned my stamping plate, and then here you go. There it is. I love the little arms behind this ghost. It almost looks like it's like running towards the bookshelf. It's so excited. And this plate has a whole bunch of different eyes and mouths that you can do, so you can kind of get your ghosts exactly how you wanted them. I wanted this ghost to be sort of almost like a profile, so I took off one of the eyes and just did half of the smile there. One of my favorite tips that I've learned from Clear Jelly Stampers videos is to use your scraper card to remove any of the extra, either extra images that you pick up when you're stamping or part of an image, like for those little eyes, I didn't want the second eye. This has saved me so much tape because I was using tape to clean off those extra bits. And now I just use my stamper and it's amazing. So thank you so much to Clear Jelly Stamper who showed me that tip and trick. And if you hadn't seen that one, I hope that this helps you. So I'm putting the outline onto this second little ghosty here, and I got a little bit of a smudge when I did it, but I decided I didn't really mind that much, and it gave me this great idea to go back to my Maniology plate and grab a book. So later I'm going to add a little book to this ghost to make him look like he's reading. So I put on an outline of these books, and again with the Yummy Gummy I decided that I really needed that black, but I wanted it to match the bookshelf, so that's why I did the Yummy Gummy first and then the black on top. And then later I'm going to decide that I want even more than just these little outlines, and I'm going to do the outline again and do some reverse stamping. So I'm going to add this book to that second little pink ghost. So I'm kind of trying to figure out which book exactly I want to do. And then here I'm going to go in with my scraper and take off all of those extra books and images because I just want this one book. So it's going to look like this ghost has like just gone to the library and picked up a book. And I'm going to use my paint palette here and get some more of those kind of fun pastel-y colors that you don't always see for Halloween, but I am so into this pastel spooky season. I think it's so fun. So just making this little green book here. And I am using a paintbrush and I'm just kind of dabbing. So even though it's a paintbrush, I still kind of just like almost dot it on there so that it won't come off or it won't pull up my my outline. I really like using dotting tools when I'm doing reverse stamping. That's actually my preferred method, but this little book was just a little too small for the dotting tools that I had, so I pulled out these paintbrushes. All right, so now I'm gonna give this little ghosty his eyes. It's kind of like a little winky smile, like, hey, I got a book over here. I don't know. I think it's so fun that you can mix and match all of these different smiles and things. And there's his book. I did this fast enough that I didn't need to put on a sticky base, but if I had waited, I definitely could have gotten a sticky base. I have one both from Maniology as well as from Clear Jelly Stamper, and those are great if you are doing reverse stamping. Sometimes I'll make my reverse stamps the day or two before when I have time, then I'll use that sticky base coat to put them on. So now I'm gonna have it say over these little ghosts, books. I saw this on Pinterest, or actually I think it was in a shirt advertisement for this like really cute shirt that you could get. It had a ghost with some books and then it said like books, and I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so cute on a set of nails. I am absolutely loving this lettering plate from Clear Jelly Stamper. It has all of these letters and they are so fun. And it has a few different fonts that you can choose from as you're deciding what you want. I chose to go with this kind of bubble blocky with these little dots. I think that this just looked really fun with kind of the quirky look that I was going for. And I did them in some different colors. I couldn't decide exactly what I thought the best color for this was, but eventually I went with kind of like a darker blue for the B and then sort of this rosy kind of purpley red for the O's. And these letters are on Clear Jelly Stamper stamping plate 230. And I'm looking at it now and it looks like there's these kind of blocky letters with the shadow behind them that you can see I've done here. And then there are two sets of smaller fonts, about, I almost say a quarter the size of the size that I used. And one is blocky and one is just lines. Then there's two more fonts, a font without the shadows with the dots. So I took the dots from that one. And then there is also just like a kind of a line. It almost looks like, I don't know, it's really a cute kind of just fun. And then there's some other little symbols along the way. There's like a little package, an ampersand, an exclamation point, an @ sign, a star. So it's a really great plate. I've used it a couple different times and it is one of their newer ones that comes along with that clear sheet. So I really love that you can kind of plan it out that way. Now, the only thing that I wish I had done differently on this set is I wish that I'd put a few more of the O's, because the O on the far right of my pointer and the O on the far left of my middle line up so well. It almost, when they were on, looked like one O. So it was really only one more O than the word book has. And I think that the effect would have been better if it had been like O's all the way across the middle and then like an O and a K on the ring finger. But such is life. Maybe if I recreate this next year, I can do that. I don't think it like completely ruined it by any means. Just, full transparency. Not everything turns out exactly the way we want. But I was super happy with how these letters came out. As you can see, both of these stamping plates stamped really, really well. And even that clear jelly one with the letters, I mean, I had to do the O's several times, but I could get usually like 2 O's and then I'd have to clean the plate, which I really love. So that saved a little bit of time that I didn't have to clean it every time. And like I said earlier, I did decide to add a little bit more color to these books that I put on the middle finger by doing a little bit of reverse stamping. And I just went back to that same color palette that I had been using before. I loved these little glasses on top, you know, fully realizing the spooky, quirky, nerdy person that I am. I'd gotten some weird little flecks of black on my ghost here, so I just went in with the pink and covered them up. Super easy. Stamped this right on top of that outline, and then I cleaned up that winky eye just a little to make it a little bit more clear, and finished up just like that. And then I've got just one letter left, adding in that S now that everything is nice and dry. I wanted to put the books on first so I would know placement in terms of like where the S exactly should go. And I am just loving it. I hope you all love it as much as I did. I got so many compliments, which is so fun. I'm a high school teacher, so anytime my students compliment my nails, I know that I have done a good job. And my own kids really liked these too. I decided to add one last little ghost to the pinky because it was just looking a little lonely over there. This ghosty is kind of like floating down. And I just decided to keep all the ghosts the same colors because I feel like there's already so many colors in this. I didn't want, I wanted it to be fun, but not too much. So then I'm going to go in with my clear jelly stamper top coat. And here is the final look. I did end up doing it in matte. All right, you all. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.